A new study says hate crimes against Christians in Europe rose last year by 70%. Overall, the Observatory on Intolerance and Discrimination Against Christians reported more than 4,000 hate crimes last year in Europe. According to the Austria-based group, more than 900 were against Christians. Joining us now from Rome is Andreas Tannhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Great to see you, Andreas. We don't often hear about hate crimes against Christians, and certainly not when it comes to European countries. What's the situation like there in Rome?
Well, Tracy, thank you so much, first of all, for raising this topic, because you're right, we do not hear a lot about this issue. According to human rights groups, religion-based discrimination in Europe is increasing, and that is true also for Christians. The recent Hate Crime Report 2020 of the International Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, or better known as OSCE, documented almost 1,000 cases in 2020, which means an increase of 70% when it comes to hate crimes against Christians. Now, what do they consider a hate crime? The OSCE defines it as a criminal offense motivated by bias or prejudice against a certain group of people. European Christians fell victim to crimes such as graffiti on church properties or arson attacks on churches. In one case, feminists assaulted people praying in front of a Catholic cathedral in Poland, throwing bottles, stones and firecrackers at them. Several of the peaceful worshippers were injured.
Oh, Andreas, this is so concerning to hear about. Is anything being done to protect the faithful?
Well, the Observatory of Intolerance and Discrimination Against Christians in Europe, this is another human rights group, sees a problem in the underreporting of this issue. While the attacks against Christians represent a quarter of all documented hate crimes of the OSCE, it is still only a fraction of the real number of cases. While most of the 51 OSCE countries report hate crimes against other minorities, only 11 countries submit data on crimes against Christians. Now, in many European countries, Christians are still the majority religion. The public narrative identifies Christians usually as being on the side of the aggressors and not the victims.
And quickly, do we know what is triggering these hate crimes against Christians in Europe?
Well, many of those documented assaults are related to hot-button issues, such as abortion or same-sex marriage. Anti-life activists, for example, attacked many churches in Poland, where the government line is pro-life. In some parts of Germany, many churches are vandalized with LGBTQ slogans. However, some crimes are even more severe. Catholic News Agency reported, for example, that a priest known for his devotion to helping migrants and homeless people was stabbed to death near his parish in the city of Como, here in Italy, by a Tunisian man in September 2020. What all of these crimes have in common is an anti-Christian bias that has been fanned by populist European politicians and mainstream media, and I think for the better part of the last decades. I think it is high time now to stand up against this increasing hatred of Christians in our society, and the latest OSCE report should serve as a wake-up call.
Absolutely, Andreas, and thank you so much for bringing us this very important report. Andreas Tannhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy.